What's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to be teaching you about the kind of rep ranges you should be using to be gaining muscle and getting stronger. All right, so we're going right in. All right, so to start this out, first of all, there's rep ranges that are given in the textbook in terms of the best rep ranges to be using to be not only with gaining muscle, but with getting stronger, with getting more powerful. Power is just speed with strength, or with getting more conditioned or gaining better endurance, where endurance is your ability to be performing workload for either a longer period of time or to be getting more done in either the same or less time. Okay, so the textbook will have set ranges for these in terms of here's how many reps to do for this. But here's the deal, there's overlap where even if you're looking to gain muscle predominantly, you're going to have certain rep ranges that, yeah, typically are going to be best to work in. But depending on your stage and your goals and kind of where you're at and your abilities, injury history, you will have times and exercises and parts of your and times with your training, stages with your training, where you can also work outside of the typical kind of rep ranges for your goals to be, still progressing and with your goal of gaining muscle. I'm going to focus on gaining muscle today, but there's definitely overlap with each of those ones of gaining muscle, getting stronger, getting more powerful, gaining endurance, getting more endurance, getting better conditioned. There's overlap with each of these. Okay, so let me tell you what those rep ranges are. For gaining muscle, the typical kind of rep ranges you use are going to be 10 to 20 reps, or some will cite it as 8 to 20 reps, all right? Getting stronger, the kind of rep ranges cited are going to be 5 to 8 reps. Getting more powerful is going to be cited as, 5 reps or fewer. Endurance is going to be typically cited 20 reps or more, okay? That said, we're just going to focus with gaining muscle and strength. Okay, so, and there's overlap with each of those goals. You'll have a bit, if you get better conditioned, it's going to be helpful for you with gaining muscle, especially at certain stages, especially with beginners, right? Same thing with beginners. With gaining muscle, you want to be strong enough as well as have a certain level of power, but especially having a good strength base, it's going to be helpful for you to be lifting heavy enough to be, gaining more muscle, right? So there's overlap with all these goals for one. So to be thinking about just one rep range you got to use to be gaining muscle or getting stronger is just a wrong way of thought to begin with. You can think of it that a certain rep range is going to be mostly what you use, but it can be helpful at times to be working in the other rep ranges too. A couple of examples. So with beginners are, again, typically want to work in 10 to 20 reps, but they can have it in them a lot where it could be helpful for them to be building a strength base a bit and maybe a slightly lower rep range than 10 reps. Could be 5 to 10 reps or 5 to 8 reps, 6 to 8 reps, something like that with maybe not every single exercise, some of the main lifts like squats, deadlifts, bench presses, shoulder presses, pull-ups. Those kinds of things can be helpful for a beginner, especially someone that's not that strong yet, not lifting that much weight in earlier training stage, not a lot of wear and tear on the body. That can be great for them to be working in, kind of to be building strength more in slightly lower rep range than 10 reps. Same can work with getting more powerful for someone. I wouldn't say so much a beginner. Beginner would want to build a bit of a strength base first before they go for more for power. But someone in a more intermediate, maybe slightly advanced training stage, especially intermediate, I would say, you could see some good translation from powerlifting or power building style training to help towards gaining muscle. The reason with power and strength translating well with gaining muscle, obviously if you can lift more weight in the 10 to 20 rep range, you're going to have bigger muscles that way, right? You're just there's more mechanical tension. There's more tension that you're inflicting for the muscles to be working and to be getting stronger. So it's helpful. And it could be just not only with the main lifts you're lifting to try to get stronger with, your presses, squats, deadlifts, pull-ups, rows, whatever. It'll help with other movements as well for you to be getting stronger. There'll be a little bit of indirect kind of carryover. Now, the same way can work with getting more conditioned. And this can be somewhat with folks that are beginners, even though beginners usually are going to go more for kind of build more of a strength base. But we still want a certain level of conditioning for beginners as well, where they can handle enough workload to be able to do enough exercises to have a good level of balance with their physique. So they're not just getting petered out after bench press and bicep curls, right? We want to be having them enough conditioning and endurance to be able to do enough workload that we work our whole body in an even way and intensely enough, right? But more so even for more experienced lifters that are very, very strong, maybe too strong for their joints and tendons, have more wear and tear, they can use styles more or not the whole workout split, but for, parts of their workouts maybe can be more geared for conditioning. This is like more when you see some of these older bodybuilders and lifters that have been more seasoned, have more wear and tear on the bodies, have more of an injury history. They go with more volumized approaches. They're going more for building muscle along with more of a conditioning type approach, an endurance related type approach. Not full blown, not to say they're doing everything more than 20 reps, but they may have some movements that maybe they don't want to train as heavy. They're doing more than 20 reps, right? And it could be more than just a few, but maybe it's just a couple of movements that they just don't want to be loading that movement. So they got to find other ways to try to stimulate the muscle without just throwing weights on bars and throwing weights around on the weight stacks for the whatever the selectorized machines. So this is how, and then this is the kind of translation with you always have just carryover translation with any of these kinds of goals. You have the ability to, if you have more endurance, have an ability to do more workload, you have a potential to get more exercises in and better develop a symmetrical physique because different exercises will work your muscles a little bit differently, especially with certain areas like your back, like your shoulders, legs. You know, some areas, some muscle parts, especially those bigger ones, there are certain exercises that put different emphasis on different areas of the muscle. And then again with what we talked about first with when you get stronger or get more powerful and have the ability to be lifting more weight or or such, or fire different kinds of muscle fibers, like with fast twitch muscle fibers. If you're more powerful, that helps with growth. If you're able to lift more weight, helps you to grow more if you can lift more weight, or helps you to grow more if you're recruiting different types of muscle fibers from being more powerful or being stronger versus just kind of just pumping blood into muscles. Okay, so this is the kind of carryover translation. So to reiterate, the best kind of rep ranges for gaining muscle is going to be that 10 to 20 or that 8 to 20 rep range. But there is carryover, especially at certain stages, but really at any stage, where rep ranges, whether they be above 20 or whether they be below 10 or below 8, that can be helpful for you as well to be gaining muscle. Because ultimately, it's about, you got it with anything you do. This is not just with working out for gaining muscle and getting stronger. Everything's about repetition. You don't just do one math problem and you can do the math. You got to do it multiple times and multiple times to be really getting it down. Same way with gaining muscle. And we're ultimately, what we look like is a reflection of what we're able to do and what we have been doing. What we're able to do is a reflection of what we have been doing. We're just progressively improving with what we're doing, whether we're increasing the loads we're using, increasing the reps we're doing, increasing the number of sets, or just kind of the total volume, improving the form that we're doing, and just working the muscles better in terms of how we should be doing them. Whether it's more range of motion, or just the way the angles are being hit. You're just getting the muscle more effectively than a different angle you were doing before, right? That's how it goes. There's a level that we have to do repetitions consistently for a period of time to be getting something down. It doesn't just happen one time. All right, guys, hopefully this gave you some insights with what kind of rep ranges to be using for your training. Any questions, you can comment down below or also message me on Instagram. My Instagram is at Nick Venuto Fitness. And you got to find rep ranges as well. Part of it, you got to find what works for you, and a lot of it's going to be to do with your training stage, what your total goals are. With you're obviously looking to gain muscle. Are there any other side goals? What kind of is your your training stage, your injury history, and partly just though what works best for you, and what are things that you can do that are going to help you to improve more. Like could you benefit from having more conditioning, having better endurance, or you're still at a stage where you need to be getting stronger, or it can help you to be more stronger or more powerful. That's kind of how you have to think of it. All right, and the coach that sees this bigger picture and his experience can help you with these kinds of things. So I'm with making these determinations exactly what to be doing. More honed in than just 10 to 20 reps. And I got my Calendly below in the description. You could book in a call if you're interested to work with someone to really tell you exactly what to be doing specific to your circumstances. Okay, so Calendly's below if that's of interest for you. And for those of you subscribed, thank you very much for subscribing. If you're not subscribed, please do. And as I'm sharing a lot more knowledge here geared for you for helping you gain muscle, get stronger, cover the nutrition side too, cover a whole lot of cool stuff. It's highly geared as well for those of you who are balancing your fitness around your business and your career pursuits. All right. So guys, please subscribe if not already. Thanks all of you for the support, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much.